Warning, the key for the following game you are about to see was received for free, sent to me by the lovely people at Mana Potion Studios. G'day, my name's Cannon Fodder, welcome to Becastled, an adorable castle building game that I have been enjoying every minute that I have played. I can hands down guarantee say that. There are a few minor issues, but nothing that I would call game breaking. And we'll get to those in a second. It is... it starts like any other survival game, really. You place down your castle, you've got to build your lumber camps, you've got to get your gold supply up and running, you've got to get food so that your citizens and soldiers will survive. And then from there, start building your fortifications and hope you survive the oncoming hordes over a set period of time. This game, at this time, has already been updated numerous times. If you already got it, then you would know what I'm talking about. It did start with an unlimited mode. That broke the game quite significantly when you got to a certain point of, one, citizens and soldiers, and also days. But I have a feeling they'll add it back in at some point. There's the potential to just have an insane amount of fun and try and paint the map with your castle, essentially, is too much to pass up. Way too much to pass up. Now, I'm not going to lie. I'm not the best at this game. I have been playing on the rather easier difficulties. But that's fine, I guess. There are harder difficulties, obviously, and I have talked to a few people that have played on the hardest difficulty and beaten the game, even in the stage that it is. Keep in mind this game is in early access, so anything that I say here will most definitely be subject to change. When I first started playing, the torches on screen you see used to light up blue to indicate the direction of the attack, but now we have a little blue, I guess, flame effect on a tile or tiles to denote where the attack will spawn. And I liked both, but I'll be honest, I like the flames a little bit better. I thought that was a little bit more, I don't know, more something. I don't quite have the words, but I thought it was cool. The addition of neutral mobs such as the wolves I think is a great addition, and I've had a lot of fun kiting the enemy hordes through the neutral mob spawns, watching them get destroyed while I sit back and laugh. It's been a lot of fun. There are other buildings, obviously, you can see there. Aside from your resource buildings, there's obviously army buildings, so you've got a barracks, an archery range, and a siege workshop for the building of larger engines of war. Two different types of walls, stone and wood. Obviously, one is more durable than the other. A builder's workshop, so you can have dedicated builders. There's a church for the respawn of your army, so you don't constantly have to spend your money and food to spawn new ones, as well as a tavern to keep all your citizens happy, because nothing says happy citizen like a drunk citizen, which I thought was rather fun. Let's be honest. That was an amusing touch. All of the buildings, all of the at least production buildings, including the tavern, have 3 worker slots available, all of which are available to you once you have stone. Most buildings do require stone to upgrade after a certain point, including worker slots, and the more worker slots you have, the more stuff you'll get out of them. So obviously 3 workers produce more stone than 2 workers. 3 workers produce more food than 1, for instance. Shall we go on to our military? Military obviously is your archer units, which you can use to man your walls and towers. You have obviously a siege workshop, which you can produce 2 types of siege weaponry with. A ballista, which fires off a single projectile at a single enemy over a long distance. It does actually a pretty decent amount of damage. And then a trebuchet, which throws a rock, which does area of effect damage. You have your barracks, which spawns foot soldiers. You have your standard foot soldier. He comes with a shield and a sword and some armor. He's a very good all-round defender. There are your knights, which carry gigantic 2-handed swords, and your spearmen, they carry spears. Now, the knights obviously do a lot of damage, and the foot soldiers do a middling amount of both. The spearmen come with the ability to stun, which comes in handy a lot. Other buildings include the market, which is a way of generating a passive income with a 10% bonus for each market within radius of another market. There is a warehouse for your raw resources like stone and wood, and a granary style building for your food. There is also a tax collector which you can add, but it will affect the happiness of your citizens. Obviously, more houses means more citizens, but something interesting that I have noticed is the fact that your soldier count does not affect your population cap. Just how much gold do you have in your pot at the end of each day. The more soldiers you have and the more ballista you have on your towers, the more gold you will be spending. Food resources, there are multiple kinds. So when you start, you obviously need to pick somewhere that has good access to, I would recommend, a starting resource, placing your castle between somewhere that has a large amount of wood, one tile with a sunstone mine nearby, and something like hunting grounds or a farm, i.e. sheep or cattle. Now, unfortunately, you can only place one building per tile, which makes sense. It does mean that there is going to be a lot of space for everyone to move around in. It adds to, I guess, the art of the game, which I thought was actually really, really nicely done. I do love this. I love the colors. They're so bright. They're so vibrant. It's fantastic. On to the problems. Once you get to a certain day period, and while this may not be such an issue for anyone who's playing on a limited amount of days, if they do add an unlimited time frame back in, you will notice that the game does start to drop frames in a big way once you get to the later stages, as well as how many villagers and soldiers you have on your walls. Pathing broke quite a bit for me in an earlier playthrough, where while I was moving my archers around my castle, setting up my defenses for incoming attacks prior to the night. Other things that I've noticed is, as you can see on screen, I'm trying to place down a castle gate and it's not letting me. I get the feeling that there are still some things to be ironed out. It's early access, but honestly, if you're going to spend $20 on this game, or whatever your original equivalent is, I would say it's well worth it, just to see how far you can get. The game comes equipped with multiple maps and multiple levels of difficulty. Each of the maps does add to the difficulty. I might add, the one that I'm playing currently is quite possibly the easiest map to start on, called Large Hill, coming equipped with several easily defended choke points and cliffs, as well as multiple neutral enemies, for which absolutely utilized to bait my enemies through them. Keep in mind, the smaller the hill, or the more non-existent the hill, the harder the difficulty goes up, as well as the actual difficulty, which the highest, I believe, currently is called Divinity. Ladies and gents, if you like what you saw, then you know what to do. My name's Cannon Fodder, and this has been Becastled. Thanks for watching.